This podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Deepthi Bathina. Deepthi is the CEO at RhythmX AI. Deepthi, finally, welcome to the show.
Thank you, JP. Super excited to be here. And we love working with Alldus too. So 2 reasons why I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm delighted to finally get you on the show. As you mentioned, we've been working together for quite some time. We love telling people about RhythmX, so it's finally we get you on the show. So let's start with yourself, please, as we do with all of our guests. If you could give us a little bit of an overview of your background in technology and your journey from where you got started early on, some of the roles you've held along the way, and take us to what led you to where you are today as the founding member and CEO of RhythmX AI.
Great. Thank you so much. Deepthi Bathina, everyone. As JP mentioned, CEO, founder of RhythmX AI. A lot of healthcare scars on me. And in my 25 years of experience, I have to say, I started off my career more from a technology background as a core technologist. But even before that, going back, I grew up in a very small town in India. I've seen real suffering about people who didn't have access to healthcare, how they could suffer. And I have a lot of stories in my own family, and I've always been inspired about how can technology make a real impact, right? And early part of my career, I've worked in various industries, but I have to say, until I hit healthcare decades ago, nothing was as fulfilling. Once I've entered healthcare, I had the great privilege as a COO of Walters Clover Health, up to date, is to visit public-private hospitals in so many countries: Germany, Korea, Japan, Brazil, Canada, US, you name it, public-private hospitals. And when people were speaking about how the technology we were working on back then could actually save their lives and even improve their lives, first time in my life, I had tears in my eyes to say, wow, something I'm working on has such huge impact on people. And that's when I decided the rest of my life is dedicated to the junction of technology and healthcare. How can we use the latest technology to be able to deliver better healthcare, right? So being at Nuance, leading operations there, it's all AI for physicians. And then Humana, I was a chief product officer, end-to-end, all kinds of products. And then I was fortunate enough to be part of Symphony AI Group, and who is my investor, founded this company on the basis of primary care, huge access issues, huge cognitive burden, and extremely excited about my journey leading up to this point.
Yeah, incredible background, and I feel like it was shaping you for the role that you're in right now. But quite a switch from C-suite level in major global organizations to now building RhythmX. But it'll all make sense by the time we get to the end of this conversation. So let's set the stage for the audience. Tell us all about RhythmX, who you are, what you do, mission of the business.
Sure. RhythmX AI, who we are is we are bringing together a group of great clinical leaders, group of great health tech leaders, and group of brilliant AI minds in the industry, all coming together to solve for the great mission for us to be able to pioneer hyper-personalized care, to be able to change primary care, to be able to truly pioneer a new model in primary care, right? And you look at examples, right, about who we are. You heard about my background, but let me share a couple of other examples. Our chief clinical officer, Dr. Glynn, actually left HCA. He used to be the C-level executive at HCA, largest health system, to come join us. Now he's rolled up his sleeves, has a great team of about 20 physicians and specialists, and the team is growing every day, right? And we believe in at the junction of clinicians and AI, and we have brilliant AI minds. We have Nathan, PhD in AI, so many patents, brilliant AI leader. Ayush Perolia, who you know, JP, very well, also to be able to say brilliant data scientists who've done so much deep impact, driven so much deep impact outcomes in healthcare. Paul Gamble, one of the authors of Google MedPalm 2, co-founder of Hippocratic AI, is part of our team. These are just some examples of brilliant AI minds, brilliant clinical minds coming together. That's who we are. And what we're doing, our mission is to be able to say, how do we enable these clinicians, right, to be able to deliver hyper-personalized care? And what do we mean by that is for every patient coming in, what's the right care for this patient? And what's the right time to deliver it? What's the right channel to deliver it? And the right care could be anything from, should we change the medication? Should we put you on new medication or take you off? Or do you need a lab? Or do you need to go to a specialist? We are going after the nucleus of healthcare with RhythmX AI.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think is important to mention, you've listed an all-star stellar cast of proper 1%ers, the elite of the elite in their chosen field. But the backing of the parent company is also the elite in its field. I think we talk to people about rhythm all the time. We always talk about you look at the leadership, but you look at the support and backing. Could you speak a little bit about the parent company? Because I know that is often a real standout marker of this company is not just your typical everyday startup. This is going to be incredibly successful.
Absolutely. I have to say one of our greatest strength is our chairman, Dr. Wadhwani. He's a lifetimer in AI and one of the most successful serial entrepreneurs on planet Earth. One of the first few companies he started, Aspect Development, went from zero to about $1 billion in revenues, got sold for 9.3 billion exit. And then he started groups of companies, Symphony Technology Group, also started from zero and went to multi-billions in revenues. And then 5 to 6 years ago, he started Symphony AI Group with the sole mission of taking AI and going very deep into various verticals, various domains. Concert AI, very deep into life sciences, already 1,000 employees, doing brilliantly well. Within just first few years, multi-billion-dollar enterprise value. Symphony AI, taking AI very deep into high-tech, media, retail, you name it. Already at 3,000 employees, multiple billion dollars in enterprise value. It's unbelievable how there's repeat success. And then RhythmX AI, you can see the theme, right? Concert, Symphony, RhythmX AI. Is taking AI, going super deep into health systems in the future payer, right?
Yeah.
That's where we come in as we truly believe at the junction of super deep AI. He pledged $1 billion into the AI platform that cuts across the portfolio. He's given us funding about $50 million for RhythmX AI. It's just unbelievable. The capital we have access to, the mentorship from an extremely successful chairman like that, the data we have access to, 300 million patient records, we already have access to because of our sister companies. And the experience our team has to be able to build these successful companies, it's just a brilliant combination.
Yeah. Let's jump into what you've built and focus on the AI, but through the lens of the conversations that you're having with your potential customers, the hospitals and health systems. So you're on the front line of this, you're the CEO, but you're still very hands-on with customers, helping them visualize what's possible. So can you sort of summarize these conversations from explaining the concept? They know the problem all too well,
Yeah.
but what is RhythmX able to do for them?
Yeah. And I'll explain it in a very simple ways that everyone can understand, right? Sometimes healthcare deep experts go off into this healthcare jargon, but in a very simple way. Imagine, JP, you're the patient and you came to see me as a primary care doctor, right? There is so much longitudinal data about you, right? The data could be in structured format, unstructured format. Some is in EHR, like Epic Centers of the world. Some data is in your payer formulary. Some is in claims, social determinants of health. And oh, by the way, for every condition, the clinical guidelines need to be applied and they're changing every day. So fragmented data. So we take all of this data, extremely powerful AI platform on top of it, and I'm the primary care physician to be able to parse all of this. Even if I had unlimited time, how is human beings cannot act like machines? But we parse, overlay AI to say, these are the 5 conditions JP has that I already know he has, but out of those 5, this is a one thing that is progressing really fast. How do we slow down this disease progression, control it? Or maybe there are these 2 other conditions no one ever identified. There's the evidence is all there, but we couldn't identify. And our software will also prompt the primary care physician to be able to say, you may want to consider this. This has never been diagnosed, and you may want to look into this for JP. All evidence is here. And the third thing is, what's the next best step? Has time come for JP to go to a certain specialist? And why? Or should he come back to you? And with what labs, right? And we have a very powerful primary care co-pilot where physicians can ask anything about JP. I could be like, what should I watch out for JP? Why should I change this medication? It is literally anything, everything that a primary care doctor needs at my fingertips at this very extremely intelligent assistant, and also to show topmost 3 to 4 things that I should do for you today.
I feel like we need to pause there just to give what you've described a bit of room to breathe, because what you're describing is, you hear about transformative and game changing in the world of AI all the time. But for non-physicians listening to this, what RhythmX is essentially doing is bringing the entire weight of modern medicine and technology and research onto the desk of your primary physician and arming that individual with the best possible outcomes, and also future predictions of this is where we need to intervene, and if we don't, there's a higher risk of XYZ. That on the desk of every primary physician in America and the world would revolutionize healthcare.
Absolutely. Well said. And one chief clinical officer of a gigantic health system once presented about us to hundreds of other chief medical officers. And he said, quoting him at this point, when RhythmX AI completes their journey, they would have forever changed the way medicine is practiced.
Yeah.
And how many companies work on a mission where you could say they forever change the way medicine is practiced, right?
Yeah.
And the beauty of the work we do, JP, is that it's not only just about AI, it's a combination of clinicians and AI. Just like how tech companies do super deep tech QA, we do the tech QA, but guess what? Every release we do goes through in-depth clinical validation. We have proprietary clinical assessment models, and every single day, team of physicians working hand in hand with team of brilliant AI engineers and data scientists and enterprise engineer teams to be able to combine together, deliver this, right? And it's a collaboration, the real world expertise that is also one of our differentiators.
Yeah, one of many. And this is not just, shooting for the moon, rocket, pie in the sky. This is working. This is active. You and your team have already been building this. So the early versions of this is out there being deployed, and we're seeing the results come through. So important to note that. I want to finish on probably the most exciting part, which is the journey ahead, the near-term roadmap, the growth plan. You talked about the investment that's already come through. You and I have been speaking for, if the last few years since RhythmX AI came out of stealth, we've been talking about the importance of bringing in people and helping them visualize the opportunity. So as the person who's the captain of the ship, when you look at the next 12 to 18 months, what are you excited about? What growth are we hoping to accomplish?
Most excited about the fact that we're going live pretty soon at a very large health system, Presbyterian, New Mexico. And the fact that our software will be used to make super deep impact in the much needed primary care, and then expansion from there on to 10 to 15 other really large health systems, that is exciting to me. At the end of the day, we are working on the hardest problem in healthcare to be able to make the difference, right? PCP burnout, cognitive burden is a huge issue plaguing the country. Access issues, plaguing the country. And in fact, these are global problems too, everywhere. And just 2 days ago, Mass General Brigham, which is local to Massachusetts here, 300 PCPs are unionizing, citing PCP burnout as a reason. And the crisis is already here. And for me, the greatest satisfaction is more and more health systems adopting and the ability to make a difference is going to be our biggest priority. And we are confident about how we are going to be able to shape the healthcare.
Yeah, obviously you're entrenched in this space, so you're acutely aware of just how big a problem that is. But for the everyday people who attend your primary care physician, they're probably not as aware of the hours per week that these physicians are working, the level of strain that's put on them, and how much they're just relying on their own memory of their medical training. And they don't really have as much time to research and invest in the modern techniques, technologies, research, let alone be able to bring it all up in front of them on their laptop or desktop in the moment that they're treating you. So the talk about an advancement and a massive step forward in the care that's available. This is it. This is super exciting. Final question from me then, which you pretty much answered in talking about what you're building, but it's something we ask all of our guests. When you're speaking to candidates in the world of AI who you feel could add value to RhythmX AI in its journey, who you know are, let's be honest, once they get to you, the conversations with you, they're top 5-10% of talent anyway. They usually have multiple companies trying to hire them.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you tell them about RhythmX AI, the culture, the mission, that gets them excited enough to join you guys over some of the other great companies? Because again, I can speak from experience. Once somebody speaks to you and you tell them and you want them, often they come away feeling like, I got to be part of this journey. So what can you share with us about what you tell these candidates?
Absolutely. One thing I say is it's a privilege. I also have the great privilege of leading a brilliant team who's best of the best, right? And the common traits amongst all of them, whether they're clinical, health tech, or AI, is one is the grit, right? Because you're going after the hardest problem in healthcare. If this is easy, somebody would have solved it 100 years ago, right? And number one is grit. If you're going to be scared or not have the courage to go after this, we are not the place. We are not for the faintest of the hearts. Two, AI is evolving at a warp speed. By the time I complete this podcast, I'm already outdated, right? We need people who are humble enough to realize by the end of the interview, their knowledge is outdated. It is about your ability to continuously learn about the latest and apply it to the most meaningful problems, and connecting the dots between the latest technology and the value to these physicians and clinicians and patients is in the modern day. That's a bigger skill, not what you already know, right? And you have the greatest grit to be able to pioneer healthcare, primary care, and you have this learning mindset and ability to be able to connect the dots and apply this skill to in a very meaningful way. And we're all about roll up your sleeves. There's nothing beneath me. I will scrub this floor right now if I need to. That's the mindset I want, right? The mission first, patient care first, and making meaningful difference to the doctors first. That's the combo we are looking for. So it's not for everyone, but for the ones who are here, like I said, we are driving fast in a very rapid way in something very big.
Yeah, and a lot more opportunity for people in the AI space who have the grit and are of the elite level who want to make a change and a difference. There's going to be a lot more opportunities to come. So Deepthi, thank you so much. Delighted we finally got you on the show. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while, but you're very busy, so I'm glad we finally got here. Appreciate you sharing your story with our community. I'm excited to share it because it's long been one of my favorite stories to tell people about the impact that AI can have. I use RhythmX AI as an example constantly. So appreciate your time. Wish you, the team, and everyone at RhythmX the very best of luck. And I'm confident that you guys will accomplish your mission. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, JP. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.